This is a video to demonstrate the written method of column addition. The method is used from the end of year 2 all the way through Key Stage 2, with the only thing changing being the size of the numbers the children are expected to calculate with. So in year 2 they'll be adding 2 sets of 2-digit numbers, year 3 add 3 digits, year 4 add 4 digits, and then in year 5 and 6 the numbers get up to 6 digits, so beyond the millions, and will also include adding decimal numbers. One of the biggest mistakes made by children when they're using column addition often comes when they're adding numbers with different numbers of digits. So let's say adding a 4-digit at a 3-digit. So if I've got my 4-digit 2423, a common error that will be made will, if I have to add 123 to this number, rather than thinking carefully about the value of the digits in 123, some children might try and just go from left to right and write it like that, which obviously means now that we've got 1230, where the value of the digit has changed based on its place in the place value columns. So that's the first thing to look out for your child when they're doing this, is have they lined up their columns correctly. If it's a 4-digit at a 4-digit, that will obviously be slightly easier to calculate. So let's say we're doing 2423 at 1599. So this is how they should be lining up their calculation, with the plus symbol and our line underneath to show that this is where we're going to be putting our sum or our total, our answer to our addition question. In the column addition we always start with the column to the right, which if it's decimals it will be in the decimals, but in an integer and a whole number it will be the ones column, which is the furthest to the right. So we look at our first column, which is 3, and we have 9 to add to it, which is obviously going to make a number greater than 9. Now we've changed the terminology we're using in the school this year. We are now calling this regrouping. Regrouping is where we get a total of more than 9, which means that we're going to have a 2-digit number as our total. Now if your child is confused where to put the digits, the easiest thing for them to do is to write the number 12 somewhere else on their page or on a different piece of paper and look at the position of the digits. So the 2 is on the right and the 1 is on the left, and that's exactly how you write it. So the 2 is going to go in the ones column, and this digit is what we're going to regroup. We're regrouping it because we're taking our 10 ones and we're regrouping it into 1 10. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a new place for this year. We're going to put it above our other digits, because now it's easier to see. What we found a lot of children were doing is when we put it below the line, they were then forgetting to add that number on. So we now are encouraging children to position it, regroup it, and place it above the other digits in the column. So now I've got my 1, my 2 and my 9 to find the total of, which again is 12. So again, if I'm not sure, I can write it. The 2 is on the right, the 1 is on the left. I'm going to regroup 10 tens into 100. Now I look at my hundreds column. I've got 5 plus 4 plus 1, which makes 10 as a total. Again, if I'm not sure, I can write 10 down. My 0 is on the right, my 1 is on the left, so my 0 is going to go in my hundreds column, my 1 is going to be regrouped, and now I can add my thousands column together. So I've got a 1, a 2 and a 1, which makes 4,000, so that is my total. When adding decimals, the main thing to be wary of is the placement of the digits. A common error made by children is often if you have a number with 3 digits and you add another number with 3 digits, but the place value of those digits changes. So for example, 23.6 plus 1.76, you can see here they both have 3 digits, but that decimal is now moved. So what's very important is children understand that that isn't possible, and that the decimal point has got to be lined up. And what we encourage children to do is place that 0 in that column there so they don't get confused. This will become especially helpful when we move on to looking at column subtraction later. So the process stays exactly the same, and that's why we're careful to say always start to the column to the right, not always start with the ones, because when it's decimals we don't start with the ones, we do start with the column to the right, which in this example is the hundredths. So we work through the process starting to the right. 0 plus 6 hundredths is 6 hundredths, 6 tenths plus 7 tenths is 13 tenths, which again, if I'm not sure how to write it, 13th tenth has the 3 into the right and the 1 that is going to need to be regrouped into the ones column. So the 3 is going to be placed here, and then I'm going to regroup the 10 tenths as 1, 1. Now I can add my ones together, 1, 3 and 1, total 5, and then 2, and I've got nothing here, so it's going to be 2 plus 0 is 2. And then the only other thing that children often leave, which is an important thing to remember, is that the decimal point must be put into all of the rows, especially into our total there.